Okay.
Wait.
So, right, well, I'm just going to dive right into a poem then. This is Raven. Your bones are a triumph, wounds closing beneath those feathers of polished stone, ragged as birch bark. Your beak is a thundercloud, biting claps of lightning, searing from my wrist. Your eyes clasp mine. Let me go, let me go. I am your own flesh, caught beneath the skin of a bird. I am your own lust and longing, throttled in feathers. I am everything you will never be. Let me go. Let me feast on all our broken promises. Let me call out from those high-rimmed firs, the tips of the birches and spruce. My life is tipping into dark water. Let me call my wild cry one last time before I go. Thank you. So I've spent a lot of my time working and volunteering in wildlife rescue centers, and many of my poems, like that one, are inspired by the time I've spent there. And I actually spent 3 months once working interning at a wildlife center in Sudbury, middle of winters. There were almost no animals, and they actually asked me to spend my shifts writing poems for their newsletter. So it was great. I just write poetry all day, and occasionally stop if there was an animal. So a lot of the poems in this book were written during that time. But the next piece I'm going to read is written at a different wildlife center. So last summer, I worked for 7 months at a wildlife rescue center in Scotland. And during that time, I kind of accidentally became the primary bat carer. It wasn't important. The primary bat carer for that year's baby bat pups. So I was raising them all through the night. And so this next piece is about my time at that wildlife center and the bats there. And it's very timely, as yesterday was National Bat Appreciation Day. And I brought a little bat along with us. This is Dance of the Bat People. When a bat falls from the sky, when it is torn from the arteries of the night, it is a sheaf of darkness flayed from the smooth muscles of time, caught like a curled leaf. Nobody expects to find a bat on the ground in daytime. Nobody expects to find the capillaries of the sky spurting on their doorstep. You can read a human's heart, not by what they choose to kill, but by who they do not let die. We gathered them, limp bodies ripped loose from darkness, screaming their outrage at the dawn, ready to heal with open chests and all the blood in our fingers, ready to give everything. Nobody expects to find a lover when they were looking for a bat. When they scan the ground for curled leaves of forgotten night, they forget how soft the hands of light are, the gifts time can give in the struggle for life between death. Nobody notices when two girls fall in love, just as nobody sees the bat tumbling from the sky. As they fall, remember with each sucking breath, those pups tucked into their chests, how many hours it takes in the lonely night to convince torn babies, soft hands, and a paintbrush can stop this feeble wail against the empty dawn. Nobody thinks of how lost a heart gets, searching for the night, aching with dark and the rasp of tiny lungs, fingers burying bodies of soft skin and quiet wind beneath soil, heavy with the pull of departed lives, or else standing alone as they lift away, solitary stars rising into the sky. Nobody remembers the way it feels the first time you hold her. She is the sky above you, and your wings are wide, aching to rise into the smoke and silver of her hair. The first day the bat eats a mealworm, self-important, shivering jaw and wings like twigs, almost strong. You cry and don't know if it is from joy or sorrow as you imagine darkness stitched together, reunited with the sky. Her hands move over your back, her mouth on yours. She is laughter and lips and gentle breath for the first time. You look up from the bats, see her face, and forget to breathe. You love her. Open chest and fingers filled with beating blood, ready to give everything. Fly into her arms hesitantly, desperately. Raise your hands and realize you were born for this life, born for this gushing breath, this pulse like a wild wind, laughter bubbling up from the veins. The bats rejoin the dance of night, moon echoing over their heads, new as the mornings they stole from the neck of death. You danced with her, cresting into her sky, wings beating boldly. Name it. Name it love, a capillary of the night, woven into her chest. You rise, flickering into dusty sky, darkness knitting, pulses winking like stars. Thank you. That one was always one of the hardest ones to do. There's so much. This next one is a little bit of an easier one. It's a short poem about a goose, so it's called The Goose. For hours we listened as you echoed the throbbing call of your people, thuds booming through the house, your feet desperate for air, wings aching for the knots of the wind, your head thrusting like a punching fist. When I feed you, you stand on the soaked floor, proud and bursting, wings clinging to your ribs. Departing, I close the door, leave you to your dreams. So that was another bird that I cared for at that wildlife center that winter. And we were in one giant building with all the animals and the people on top. And whenever we were in the building, we could hear it crashing in its aviary in the middle of the building. It was released after a weekend, but the image of that really stayed with me. So this next poem is called The Eagle. The eagle screams, eagle, dark-winged, sun bouncing white from its head, talons cupped like lovers' hands, whip-winged, angular, caressing the sky. The scream, air made liquid, wild burble of streams, catches shuddering life song of rabbit, calls into the cry of the wind, whispering over branches, nuzzling, jagged tips of fir cones, wilderness, trickling to crystallize on the tips of earth-brown wings. Eagle, riding snake-soft drafts and the ripping grays of thermals, a darkness arcing over open-topped firs, plunging and rising, its call bouncing towards the breath of the sea. To love her was to scream into the world and hear the ocean calling back. To love her was to believe in flight, the daylight shrieking, a song that could be answered, to give everything, every ripping wind, every hunted pant, every rabbit quiver, all the wildness, the gasping river, the hurricane dance of wind and treetops. To love her was to become a cry, circling the forest, to echo in the heart of every wild thing, and hope she could hear me as she soared.
Hey!
will become irrelevant, but that time is not now. This is the oldest poem in my book. I think I was 17 or 18 when I wrote it, and I performed it at the Women's March a couple of years back. So this is my feminist poem for all of us. Light dashing to the ground spreads flat, a frightened water drop, wriggling down between leaves, patterning the sky, where the stream presses its body to the ground, artery of the forest of our lives. Us, before we climb into our words, strong-bodied in this forest of cradling arms, its hands laced above our heads in a cathedral of leaves, legs buried to the calves in the muscles of the stream. Us, raising each other up, building ourselves from the flags of other people's truths. Water will not be held back. When we return from the river into this dry, squeezing world of expectation, our legs are still wet to the knees with the dew of our inspirations. Remember what was learned in the river before we are told our inspirations are not enough to hold us. Better to towel our legs dry, scrape them clean with a razor. If we let them flower, we are dirty, not quite girl enough for this world. And if we scrape them into silk, we are too much girl for it to ever expect to hold us. And where are the boys with wet legs and dry eyes? I want to see them cry a river that can flow to the ocean, pressing salt into the wounds of their egos. Perhaps that can heal them. Realizing they were never meant to be the ones to hold the world up, no matter what their childhoods told them. We are built to hold this world together on our trembling shoulders. We're all meant to cry when we break, and nobody is built to snuff the flame in another person's chest. Hell yes, I'm a feminist, meaning all of us are bleeding. I am a feminist for the girl dropping out of dodgeball because somebody told her, "You throw like a girl," and she thought that was a bad thing. I'm a feminist for the man with blood weeping from his arm, telling everyone, "I'm okay, it's just a scratch." I'm a feminist for the furious woman hanging up her welding torch, tired of being told she will never be as good as the men beside her. I'm a feminist for every boy shivering in a dress beneath his father's angry eyes while his sister skips past in her pants. I'm a feminist for the woman told she was a boy from birth, who feels she has to wear a skirt to be seen as herself by those who dare try to take her womanhood away from her. I'm a feminist for the woman of color, carrying her rage and fear knotted beneath her throat, knowing some feminists will pull each other to their feet, pretending they don't see her lying beside them. I'm a feminist for the Asian boy, fighting stereotype after stereotype, terrified of the day he finally breaks down. Who will crutch his trembling shoulders? I'm a feminist for the person who is not a boy or a girl, who cannot see their face in any of society's mirrors. We list a river of forever, reasons to keep trying, to keep breathing this good air and stand up, holding each other above the heads of the patriarchy so we can finally be heard. We are here to breathe hope into this aching world. We are water drops. Alone we splatter, frightened, to the forest floor, but together we build the temple of the river. Let us go out and create a world where the rivers we wash our feet of hope in do not run with the blood of Indigenous women, where we do not lose our boys to believing they will never be man enough. Let us return to the river, promise our legs, wheelchairs, crutches, whatever we use to carry ourselves into tomorrow, that they will always be strong enough for our journeys. Broken as we are, together we can mosaic a future. Let us stand by our sisters and realize the riverbed is a candle lit for our burning mouths. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, just got two more for you tonight. the rest will be in the book. Well, these ones as well, but you know what I mean. So, I'll just have water. It's exhausting. So, this next poem is called, it's a bit different from the others. I've been trying to experiment a bit with form, well, not form, but language and movement. So, this one is called The Clock of Sadness. The clock of sadness is unseeing. Its hands rub its face, trying to find the strength for a second try. Pillowed against a wall or table, all hard edges and crimes no one listens for. The clock learns the shape of your body, ribs stabbing like betrayal, liver swollen as regret, pancreas a cluster of young grapes, sadness licks their pulsing wax before reaching up to feast on your frantic, gentle heart. The hands of the clock numbering your days, 11 seconds since you smiled, 24 minutes since that laugh that tore your throat like you swallowed, the joker in a deck of cards. And the clock climbs into your body, hammocks your intestines, swinging in the dismay of this hard and brilliant life. The clock of sadness ticks beneath the spine until the alarm tugs your kidneys. Wake up! Wake up! It is time! Time to stop listening to your gears creaking through your stomach, throat closed with thick spit, sadness talking through parted lips. It is time. A new dawn to caress this shadowed perfect face in this shining, fragile world still singing its fresh song. Listen for the spaces. Tick, tock, tick, tock. Each sweet moment where the clock cannot find you. Thank you. When I was practicing that one, I very nearly gave up on performing it. I thought this will never be a performance poem. So, I'm glad it lives. This next piece was written for a ring-billed gull on the day that it finally stood up for the first time. And it's called I Meant to Say I Love You. Your feathers are ruffled from the bones spitting against your skin. I say come. Those fish sing their anthem till their deaths, and you cannot muster a bite of their fisted power. Their bodies bunched and streaking, as alive as the eye you watch me with, the beak that trembles with desire for my flesh. Look now at how you stained your feathers, your white gown. You say, listen, I showed up to the wedding of my life, married my own name, every day that I was flying. You can bet I punched my joy into those clouds. A cutout of a star, wheeling beneath the sun, plunging for the fish, singing their silent songs. I choke on my name here. I dust myself to ashes. You dare ask me to stand? Prove to me, bird. Prove that you're more than blood and feathers slowing into rut, your veins looping like old string beneath your skin. Prove to me that the life you sang into the sky still barrels in your chest. Use your hungry anger to tear the truth away from me. But the bird watches with eyes filled with salt and lashing waves, its beak a brittle sword, its legs gently trembling, lifting it away to stand finally, upon its own name. Perhaps